doing what Ohio Congressman Max Miller publicly urged them to do. The House Ethics Committee formally announcing an investigation into Miller for allegedly domestic violence, abuse, or illegal drug use. Miller has denied allegations. Sources tell ABC News that President Trump called Miller, telling him his re-election campaign is in jeopardy. Bail set at $1 million for a man arrested for allegedly starting the largest of the three wildfires in Spokane, Washington. Flames melted electric and gas lines, says ABC's Alex Stone in Spokane, seeing repair crews.
In where there are fire crews right here trying to dig line and clean up the area, but what they're doing is building a road so power crews can get in and try to rebuild the power line. So they're actively doing that right now.
Acting Attorney General and AG nominee Todd Blanche has been confirmed by the Senate Judiciary Committee. A full Senate vote is ahead. This is ABC News. Suspicion or downright opposition to AI data centers appears to cut across party lines. ABC's Jim Ryan says Democrat-dominated New York was the first to impose a moratorium on the facilities.
Now deep red Texas has done the same. Governor Greg Abbott, once an ardent supporter of data centers, has shut the door on new ones until the state can audit their potential impact on public water and power supplies. More than 330 data centers are up and running in Texas, with another 250 on the drawing board.
Nate Rouette and his brother, fishing on a Massachusetts beach, got the surprise of their lives, reeling in a 5-foot tiger shark.
I saw those horizontal, lines, indicating that it was a tiger shark, which was super cool. Immediately I started yelling at my brother. I was like, it's a tiger shark. And he was in disbelief.
Scientists say the tropical species is showing up farther north because of warmer ocean waters. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Coming up, a Spokane wildfire arson suspect has a troubling criminal history. Details after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
This was brought to us by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Everett to Marysville, you're looking at usual backups between 526 and 528. Nothing heavy at all. In fact, it's just a 10-minute trip between Everett and Marysville. Linwood to Seattle, we're up to a half hour already. It is thick near Lake City Way down I-90. North 5 looking very typical with scattered backups starting just prior to the West Seattle Bridge to our Revive I-5 work zone on the Ship Canal Bridge. 20 minutes gets you through all this. North 405, you're slow through Kirkland. South 405 jams up at Southeast 8 there in Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway, and then it opens up pretty quickly for you. Seattle to Federal Way, just 35 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is at 45 minutes. The north end starting to build up, but we're pretty heavy south of State Route 18. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. A man suspected of starting one of those Spokane wildfires is also a convicted killer. The 37-year-old was once sentenced to 12 years in prison in Arizona for killing his father. Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles says the man is now the arson suspect.
We believe it was matches or a lighter. When he was detained, he was found to be in possession of some waterproof matches and a butane lighter.
Judge today kept his bail at $1 million. Meantime, the fires are still 0% contained after burning more than 10,000 acres and destroying more than 700 structures. KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard on the wildfire smoke impacting air quality here in western Washington.
West of Puget Sound, we're still seeing a lot of places that are good. Shoreline, Seattle, kind of a mix between good to moderate with a handful of unhealthy for sensitive groups. We're seeing quite a bit of unhealthy for sensitive groups on the east side. And then as you get closer to the Cascades and the foothills, there's just some unhealthy spots.
Much the Puget Sound region under that air quality alert through Thursday at 5 p.m. A Renton police officer is recovering after being stabbed during a late-night call that turned into a homicide case. Renton PD's Megan Black says officers responded at just before midnight to an apartment with a broken window and a suspicious person.
Officers backtracked to the original location where they noticed some blood. They followed the blood up to the third floor and located a female who was deceased inside the apartment.
She says during a foot chase and arrest, the officer was stabbed in the face. Police say this was a targeted attack. There is no ongoing danger to the public. Seahawks fans get an all-access pass to training camp.
Let's do what we do, baby. Let's spin. Let's go.
HBO's latest season of Hard Knocks premieres tonight, featuring the Hawks. It marks the first time a defending Super Bowl champion has been featured on the series. To your forecast now, we have reduced air quality again this afternoon, again tomorrow. Conditions start to improve late Wednesday night into Thursday, with that air quality alert expiring at 5 p.m. on Thursday. In the meantime, temperatures also on the hot side, with highs in the mid-80s, could see 90 on Thursday. Right now, 78 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Here we go. It's the John Curley Show. Greg Tallman and Angela Poe Russell in on this rather smoky Tuesday. We are your air quality index headquarters. I'm just going to say it right at the outset here. And we're looking at a number of about 80 right now. Does that mean anything to anyone? How you doing, Angela?
Good afternoon. It's good to see you. I'm here for it because this is nothing that I grew up with. So the idea of many summers dealing with this, I'm still learning what all of these things mean. So I want to know more.
We're in the yellow right now, which is moderate air quality. The definition is air is acceptable, but sensitive people, those with asthma, heart or lung disease, older adults, and children, may notice mild effects. And according to the Department of Ecology here, their website, it kind of varies depending on what city you're in, Bellevue, Renton, Seattle, up north. And then tomorrow it's going to get worse, apparently, before it gets better on Thursday. So today and tomorrow is it appears like it's going to be the worst of it, unless the winds shift, which they can always do.
Absolutely. You know what struck me? I first of all, I am feeling for all of us, but especially for Spokane and all the people there indirectly impacted just by seeing their neighbors suffering through this. And it struck me that this summer I've traveled to several states. And most states I visited, I found myself in smoky skies for various reasons. Oh, yeah. Went to New York. Fire, smoke had come down, I think, from Canada. Went to Chicago. That was the worst. We are at, what's that highest level? It's a red. It was at the red, like the worst possible air quality.
That's 150 to 200.
That's where it was. I had never experienced that, even living here in Washington. I've lived here for maybe, 15 years now. I had never experienced it that bad that I could recall. And when I tell you, you could not go anywhere, it was hard to see. It was hard to breathe. And I'm not a sensitive person. It was wild.
And we might see air quality AQI of 150 tomorrow.
Yeah. And the point I guess I was making in all that, there was is how much of our country is impacted by smoke and wildfires right now.
It seems like more than ever. I know that's anecdotal, but it feels, I don't think it's just our imagination.
No. And I have to call out, so you all should know that Greg and I was telling him how my daughter in the middle of the night started coughing last night. And then you shared you had a similar
My wife had the same complaint about me this morning. She said at like around 1 or 2 a.m. I had this massive coughing fit. And so we're trying to connect the dots here. Is it related to the increase in smoke in the area? Or maybe I just fit into that sensitive category at this time of year. I don't know,
I didn't
Angela.
know you were sensitive like this too.
Yes, but the suffering, the adversity here due to smoke, it's relative, right? And it's nothing compared to what our neighbors in Spokane are facing right now. And the news that is actually making national news, I saw a few cable news channels lead with this today. The arson suspect who was nabbed in Spokane. And I'm guilty of this yesterday. I described the wildfires in Spokane as an act of nature or an act of God. And I don't know why the thought of it being a possible arsonist didn't cross my mind. But sure enough, 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci of Spokane was arrested on suspicion of first-degree arson in connection with the Old Trails fire. I believe that's the biggest fire going on in Spokane right now. And the story leading up to his arrest is pretty crazy, and it kind of fits under the category of see something, say something. Joe, I believe we have some audio from the sheriff over there in Spokane from yesterday.
The witness, a citizen, very good citizen, noticed a male standing on the side of the road looking into the trees as he was going to pick somebody up. About 10 minutes later, as he was coming back through the area, he noticed the male was bending down near some grass. At that point, the male stood up and looked very nervous, according to our citizen witness. At that point, the male walked away. The citizen returned to their house. A short time later, after being at home, they saw smoke coming from what they believed was the area that they had seen the male bending down by the side of the road.
Turns out this male has prior felony convictions, including manslaughter for patricide. You don't hear that term too often these days. It relates to Oedipus, I think. The man killed his father some years ago. He's currently being held on $1 million bail, has a pretty long criminal rap sheet, which is very frustrating when you hear it. I mean, should this man have been out and about in the first place? We don't know everything about his personal history. But Angela, kind of some of your initial thoughts here in hearing about this arrest.
Yeah, at first I was furious because I'm like, why is he not in jail, considering that he took a life? And as I dug a little bit deeper into the case, he was charged and convicted of manslaughter. And so I was thinking, of course, why manslaughter? And I don't have all the details, but here's what I do know, that he was having an argument with his parents. I think it started over dishes or something. He went to his room and locked his door. And then his dad went to get the key to open the door and then this guy, the alleged fire starter, opened the door with a gun and shot and killed his dad.
Ugh.
So maybe there was a case made for, the fact that he locked the door and his dad. I don't know. But regardless, it's always frustrating when you see situations where someone committed that kind of act and then they're back out. You had mentioned that he had a long rap sheet. Did he have other charges for things out there?
Well, I think he had been investigated previously for arson. I don't know if necessarily he was charged, but he's been in and out of the justice system for, it seems like, one of those serial offenders, someone who's always on the cops' radar. And now this, 700 structures destroyed now, evacuation of over 65,000 people, more than 10,000 acres burned, 1,000 firefighters responding. The scale of this is incredible.
Absolutely. And I should point out, because the other thing I thought was, okay, maybe it was a lighter sentence because of his age, but he was 21 when this happened, so he wasn't a juvenile. I think the other interesting aspect of this, and this is something that people who study wildfires want to point out. Yes, it's frustrating that this person started it, human cause, but they're trying to make the case that it's environmental factors that make them worse. So the high winds, the fact that, let's see, the amount of trees that we have, and in terms of the way they are maintained, temperatures that are drying things out. The way Hillary, I don't know if you all remember Hillary Fran, she ran for governor, but before that, she was the commissioner of public lands. She's been at Department of Natural Resources. She's done a bunch of stuff locally, and she posted on LinkedIn a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, and she was saying that right now that we have fires burning across 15 states, impacting more than 178 million people. And her bottom line, she says, our communities were not built for the climate that we are now living in. And so we have to rethink the way we are designing communities so that when fires do start, whether they're human caused or whether it's, started by something else, then they aren't made worse by our climate.
Right. So I'm curious as to your perspective on the see something, say something aspect of this case, which may very well lead to justice being served for this man who was formerly convicted of manslaughter. Have you ever been that concerned citizen, Angela, in a situation where something looks like it's about to go down or is going down, either suspicious behavior or clear criminal activity that's in the process of being carried out, and then you call authorities? Or what is your threshold for where you feel compelled
Greg,
to call police?
Greg,
I'm always fascinated in this.
Greg, I live in the city, so I got 911 on speed dial. Okay,
it's your top 3 favorites on your iPhone.
Okay, it's not that bad, but there's always something that is happening. And unfortunately, most times when you call 911, there's not anything they can do about it because they want to say, oh, well, do you see a weapon or do you see this? They're so strained. But I think your larger point is a really good conversation to have, because how often do we see something suspicious and we try to tell ourselves, well, I don't want to judge this or don't want to judge that, and I think for me, ever since I kind of studied this, there's this book called The Gift of Fear. It's one of my favorite books. And he talks about the power of our instincts and how many times we try to override something. So if something feels off for me,
gut.
I have to let go of the bias. I have to let go of all this stuff and kind of,
It's
What about
probably
you?
like thousands of years of evolutionary progress to where if you get that gut feeling, a lot of times it's proven correct. You know what I mean? It's just our instincts or just a, compiled wisdom over time that's passed on genetically. I don't know. But I've called the cops a lot, actually.
Really?
Well, if I'm like driving in a 35 mile an hour and a car like buzzes me by at 80, I'm like, dude, that guy's putting everybody. I assume it's a guy. Guys do mostly terrible things. I'll call the cops and be like, this dude is flying down, so and so street at 80 miles an hour. If you have a cop in the area, get all over this. The other day, and it still haunts me. And I don't know if I did the right thing here on the see something, say something front.
Okay, tell us.
I was driving home from work, and there was a car that was kind of like upended on the curb. There was like kind of smoke or whatever coming out of the front of the vehicle. And I'm noticing it as I'm driving by, and I look back and I see this old man in the car. And he looks sort of dazed and confused and out of it. And he'd clearly, gone off the road and hit a tree or something like that. And my first thing was, do I pull over and stop and like make sure he's okay? There was a lot of cars. It was like kind of a heavy flow of traffic. And then instead, I just picked up the phone, called 911, gave the description, and went home. But I was like, was that the right thing to do? Or should I have been more of a man, been that good Samaritan, pulled over and like got out of my car, knocked on his window and like made sure he was okay? But I always have these visions in my head that sometimes that can be even more dangerous, especially if there's a heavy flow of traffic. I don't want to be that guy on the side of the road who then gets swiped by another car. So I had these competing judgments going on in my head. And now I'm like, did I do the right thing by just making the call and not involving myself physically in an embodied experience? What would you two have done?
I'm still kind of laughing at the fact that you called 911 over people speeding.
Well, if you're going 80 or 90 in like a school zone or something, I'll make it even more extreme. How about that?
Okay.
Hey, officer, this guy's going 41 and a 40. Can we?
I can't imagine. So you're like Mr. Crabtree, like someone
Who's
threw
Mr. Crabtree?
They had there were these shows back in the 60s, and there was the grumpy old neighbor who would like scold the kids.
Excuse me.
I think it was Mrs. Crabtree, but you're like Mr.
Crabby pants.
No,
in other
okay.
words.
In all seriousness,
Yeah.
I think it's so hard when incidents come up, whether you see a violent thing or you see an accident. It is a split-second decision. Sometimes your body is reacting before your brain even has
Sure.
time. So I think it's really hard to judge yourself in that moment. What I would say is that I think if you're driving and traffic is zooming by, you might be able to quickly stop, but you could cause an accident just from the sudden stop. Like
Right.
it can be really tricky to do that.
But my least favorite thing in this day and age is where a situation is unfolding that either looks dangerous or tenuous or something, and people pull out their phones and just start filming it instead of like helping the situation.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And so the thought of me even being associated with that in any way as being just a passerby observer rather than someone who's helping is so like disgusting to me that I don't want to ever be close to that category. Because we don't like. It's more important that we get the shot than we actually help. And okay, along those very lines, let's get to our next story. There's been at least 26 unauthorized drone flights that have entered restricted wildfire airspace since the fires began in Spokane. And these drones that are just owned by private citizens apparently are like disrupting firefighters and aircraft from being able to put out these fires, which is kind of insane. But again, that goes to my point. People are like, oh, I'm curious. Let's fly my drone up there. Maybe we can get some 4K footage of this devastating fire. And in the meantime, they're directly or indirectly leading to the fires being able to continue.
Yeah. Well, here's what we know for sure. If you saw one of them, you would report them.
Oh, 100%.
Like you would. So listen, I want to tell you that we've gotten a lot of text messages that have come in related to this topic for you. And Brian was saying he's a highway construction inspector, or was, and the shoulder of the road's not safe, even behind a concrete barrier. Don't feel bad. It is not an irrational fear.
Okay, good.
And, oh, okay. And Janet did say it's Mrs. Kravitz. Kravitz. Okay, I thought it was Crabtree. Okay, all right.
Okay,
Crabtree, Kravitz.
Think about this guy who was caught, and assuming he's guilty, which we don't know yet, presumption of innocence, but all signs point to him probably having been the one who started one of these fires here in Spokane. The person who reported them, all he saw, according to him, was someone in the brush, someone kneeling down, and someone looking suspicious. I can't imagine that there probably weren't more people that passed this person by and just were none the wiser and thought, nothing to see here, nothing to say. But this person decides to involve himself, make the call. And I'm almost prompted to have more questions than answers in light of some of this information, because then apparently what prompted this person to call the authorities was they later saw smoke emanate from where this person was initially seen. And then you think, hindsight is 20/20, but man, if they would have had a firefighting team out there right away responding to that initial plume of smoke or whatever, I don't know.
It's tough. And from what I understand, when it initially started, the winds were so high at the time that it was really difficult. Like
Right.
It just happened so quickly. So here's what I'm wondering. You're saying that it's going to get worse the next couple of days.
In the Seattle area, the
Right.
smoke,
So
yeah.
what are some things that, we know the obvious, well, I shouldn't say it's obvious to everybody, but you always see people, okay, wear a mask. And as I understand it, there are only certain masks that are even effective through this.
It's that old N95, that old trusty N95 again.
Yeah. And then I heard there's if you don't have an air filter, there's some bootleg option. Did you read about that? That you can put let me see if I can find it. But you have a fan and you put some kind of tape over it. I'm going to look this up for you.
Okay.
Because I'm going to.
You MacGyver it. Yeah, exactly right. That makes sense to me.
I saw this and I was like, what? Okay, you tape a furnace filter to a box fan with maxing tape. And this can lead to a 90% reduction in certain types of air. So there you go.
Okay.
This reminds me of my dorm days where I didn't have AC in Florida, by the way. And I know, right? And you put the fan in the window. You do all these kind of tricks to get around it.
Okay, important PSA. On another topic here, is the smoke going to affect Election Day here in Washington State? Getting your ballots. I don't know about you, Angela, but I've gotten at least 4 texts today related to primaries. It's very obnoxious. I don't know how we get ourselves off of these lists, but it's, hey, concerned voter, or hey, Washington State Democratic Party, here, make sure to get this. The spam is out of control, and I feel like it should be illegal to just be able to text en masse, but apparently it's not.
This whole texting by phone, I think, started about
With
it 2 or
videos
3
now.
years ago, and
Yes.
then you think that they know you because they're like, "Hey, Angela,
Yeah, how are you?
What?"
And then they'll give your address, and then we saw you the other day, looking good. Did you get that ballot dropped off? And it's like, this is Big Brother. This is George Orwell after all. But did you slip your ballot into a ballot drop-off location yet, Angela?
Do we have
Tell
a
the
cricket
truth.
sound? But I have it in my possession so that when this show is over, I am going to complete the ballot.
Nice.
Because my thing is I like to review the actual materials. So
Really? You're the one.
Yes,
You're the
I
one.
go through everything.
I do too. That
I go
pamphlet.
through everything.
I do
yeah.
like that pamphlet, and I always look for buzzwords because I never know anything about some of the races, and I go, oh, there's one of those words that should be red alert, so on and so forth.
I check the names that sound the coolest.
That's one way to go.
Yeah.
That's probably better than any other system.
Yeah. All right. How are things on the roads? Is it smoky out there?
Nate
Is it pretty
Dogg.
good?
Well, funny you would say that. Yeah, things are smoky down in Olympia. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Southbound I-5 in Olympia, just before Highway 101, we have a fully engulfed semi. It's in the Gore Point. Once fire crews arrive, though, you can bank on a couple lane closures. Right now, the bumper-to-bumper backup starts at Pacific Avenue, which is about a 2-mile backup, but this is going to climb exponentially here in the next half hour. All right, Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes, half hour to Linwood. Seattle to Everett, 40 minutes, just 20 to Linwood. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 25 minutes. It gets to bumper-to-bumper back up there at Ravenna Boulevard all the way to the West Seattle Bridge. North 5, we're going to jam up at the West Seattle Bridge, and from there, scattered back up to the Ship Canal. South 405 in Bellevue is solid from Southeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway. Seattle to Federal Way, a 35-minute commute. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors, where you can save $588 on every window, $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You know how some parts of the house don't work? Let me explain. There's that closet that you've got that when you open it up, everything falls out. Or you try to find something, you can't because it's not working. There's too much stuff in there. And how about the garage? I know some people that can't park their car in the garage because there's everything else parked in the garage. You see what I'm saying? There might be some other parts of the house where it's just packed and there's no place to store anything. So maybe you've even gone to renting one of those storage units. Well, that adds up every single month. You can't even remember what's in there. So a better investment to get parts of those house working would be Closets by Design. The consultant comes to your house. They look at the problem. They know that each one of these problems that need to be solved have to be customized. But you don't get a big customized price. You're going to get 40% off plus an additional 15% off in 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. I really became a believer in Closets by Design when they came out to the barn in Cle Elum. You should see the work that they did. My goodness. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at GuardianRoofing.com.
George Thorogood and the Destroyers, the baddest show on earth, with the Robert Cray Band. August 6th, the Tulalip Amphitheater. Don't get tickets on sale now at Tulalip and Quilcena One Club Desks or Ticketmaster.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. We are now hearing from a Spokane teacher who lost her home to those wildfires. Kelsey Wilder tells Gia and Ursula she learned she'd lost everything while driving back from Seattle. Her principal sends a picture of where her home once stood.
It was just like looking through the walls, like as if it was just like invisible. All of like the things that it held just disintegrated.
Her home, one of more than 700 structures that have been destroyed. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports the state is ready to take on any insurance companies that deny damage claims from the fires.
Herb Weisbaum, contributing editor at checkbook.org, tells me for homes that survive the fires sweeping through Spokane, there could be problems hidden inside.
That house may have been filled with toxic smoke from all the burning houses around it, lead and mercury and cadmium.
Many homeowners in California are now suing insurance companies that denied smoke damage claims. Washington's Office of the Insurance Commissioner tells me they're keeping a close eye on claims here. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
37-year-old man now suspected of starting one of those fires. He's being held on $1 million bail on suspicion of first-degree arson. Fred Meyer shoppers saw flames and smoke inside the Bothell location this afternoon. Everyone got out safely. Firefighters put out those flames. No word yet how the fire started. A Southwest Washington man is charged with killing a bald eagle.
66-year-old Benjamin G. Allen of Brush Prairie is accused of shooting and killing the bird with a shotgun this past February. Federal prosecutors say Allen kept chickens not far from where the dead eagle was found. He's charged with violating the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act and unlawfully killing a migratory bird. If convicted on both charges, he could get up to 18 months in prison and fines totaling $505,000. He's due in federal court in Tacoma on September 8th. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle-based Zillow is cutting more than 500 jobs. The change is coming as the nation's housing market stays flat. Zillow CEO says the company is still outperforming those trends. Zillow is set to release its second quarter earnings tomorrow. Now to the traffic desk at 3:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Let's start you down in Olympia, South 5, just before Highway 101. We're dealing with a semi-fire. The driver managed to make it to the Gore Point, so he's not blocking the lanes, but fire crews on scene are taking up your two right lanes right now. We've got a 3 to 4 mile bumper-to-bumper backup approaching the scene. Tacoma to Olympia has jumped to 50 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 45 minutes. Nothing unusual here. Typical backups between Renton and Puyallup. Seattle to Federal Way at 40 minutes. Same here. Usual backup from Interurban down to 516. North 5 into Seattle, you're going to jam up at the West Seattle Bridge. And then from there, we're looking at scattered backups to the Ship Canal Bridge. About 25 minutes to get through this. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 25 minutes as well. Bumper to bumper from Ravenna down to the West Seattle Bridge. South 405 on the east side, you're heavy from Mid-Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway, and then things open up for you. Everett to Marysville, up to 15 minutes. And on the water, the Point Defiance Ferry Terminal and the Mukilteo Ferry Terminal, both reporting 1 hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Hazy skies across the region today, again for tomorrow. That air quality alert continues until 5 o'clock on Thursday night. Also see hot weather with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s the next few days. Could touch 90 on Thursday. Right now, 80 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. This hour brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance.
Yes, welcome back. We are glad that you're with us. Feel free to text during the show, 888-973-5476. Well, more data is coming out about injuries related to e-bikes and e-scooters. The Consumer Product Safety Commission has been tracking this for years now, along with other agencies. The Seattle Times highlighted a bit of that data. I'll talk about the numbers in just a moment, but first of all, I want to get your reaction to the numbers, Greg, and then talk about, do you think Washington as a state has done enough, especially when you compare it to what other states have done to regulate this? So this is a subject close to your own heart, right?
It is, because I have young kids, and 2 out of 3 of those young kids have been on e-bikes before.
With your permission?
With my permission, my cautious permission, in a very controlled environment. Okay. You know what kind of dad I am. And they're very unnerving. At first, they're exciting and exhilarating because, I don't even have to move my legs, and this thing, vroom, 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 takes off. But then there's this feel I've done it myself where you can begin to be a bit out of control, and you feel like I'm not really in command of this.
Is that what
thing.
It felt like? Because I've never been on one.
It did to me. And then I just see them. They're like ubiquitous around the streets here, especially when the weather gets nice. Even yesterday, I was driving my son to football practice. We're at a stop sign on some back roads. I began to turn to the right, and there's this kid. They must have been 13, 14 years old. He's doing a wheelie, and he's flying towards us. It must have been 15, 20 miles an hour. This case, the kid did have a helmet on. But you know me, I was just, oh gosh, at any moment, that situation can turn bad. I've almost been nicked a few times by these electric bikes. I'm sure you all have anecdotes in the listening audience. I think there needs to be more regulation. I'd even put an age limit on some of these things if there isn't already.
But no,
because they're more like motorcycles.
So let me give you the data, and I'm going to tell you what some states have done, what surgeons are recommending. So we know that we are seeing a dramatic increase in injuries and the severity of injuries. So the the Consumer Product Safety Commission, 59,000 people sent to the ER in 2024 related to e-bike injuries. That's double the figure from 2 years prior, so 2022. There was a European study, and this was featured in the Times, of riders ages 10 to 25. They had double the rate of traumatic brain injury of conventional cyclists. I think what's really important to note here is that surgeons are saying we don't need to make e-bikes and e-scooters the enemy, because we realize for a lot of people who live in cities, this is an environmentally friendly way of a mode of transportation. But they highlight a couple of things, that when you're talking about younger kids, with anything they do, their brains are not fully developed. They have not learned to manage risk. And so we put guardrails around them.
Right.
And so right now in Washington, what the legislature did this last session, they created all these new classes, which, to be honest, I have studied and I'm still confused. They're like, if it's this to this, it's a this. And if it's this to that, it's a this. And I'm like, what does that do to keep kids safe? But here's the other thing they did. They created a work group to study. I'm sorry. I just feel like Seattle and Washington, we're so good at studying.
Oh, we love the work groups.
I was bamboozled
Study
by it
all
at
day
first
long.
when I moved here. I'm like, that sounds really great to really study it.
And pay
get all
people
the
to study it.
information. And I'm like, no, you're not fooling me this time. So they're going to study it to see how they draw a clearer line between e-bikes and high-powered e-motos. Listen, New York has taken a hard stand banning e-bike users under 16. I think we need helmets. That's something, but see, it's inconvenient, Greg. It's inconvenient to mandate that they use helmets, because then how do they easily get on the scooter? And I feel like, you know how when you have those campaigns, like talk to your kids about drugs, talk to your kids about these things. And as much as I've talked about it on the air, about young kids being on these machines and the dangers.
You're going to say these damn machines, and then you censored yourselves.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Kravitz. So as much as I've talked about it, I find out from my daughter after she did it that she went on some kind of scooter and I'm just like,
nuh-uh.
Right?
Yes.
It's like I haven't talked to my kids about drugs. So I say all this to say, if you were a member of our legislature, what would you do immediately knowing the data that we have in front of us?
Exactly. And it is based on data. It's not anecdotes. I think it's clear as day. I think you ban e-bikes for people under 16. I think you got to do it now. They're a health hazard for children. I think you make that the same age for social media, actually, which is 16. Seems to be the sweet spot. Get it? I actually think one of my prime responsibilities as a parent, Angela, and I'm interested because your kids are just a little bit older than mine. One of my primary responsibilities is to scare my kids, right? My wife would tend to disagree, and my son now is like worse than me when it comes to maintaining safety at all times. But if they're swimming, I'm like, look, the water is fun. It is amazing. Have a blast. It can also kill you. Okay? So, and those things need to exist in equal parts in their mind at all times. Because if you just let the kids run away with, this is just fun, and they don't consider that worst case scenario, that's when the worst case scenarios tend to happen. And so I've said the same thing about riding a bike. I've said the same thing. I'm teaching my daughter to drive right now. And we have a bunch of kids that like play in our neighborhood all the time. And the first thing I'm like, whenever I back out of our driveway, whether it's winter or 90 degrees in the summer, I have some of the windows cracked down. So not only am I looking behind me, but I can hear, are there kids in the area playing? And so I tend to analyze and tend to go on the too much safety aspect of it, even if it creates an unhealthy fear in my kid's mind, because I feel like that alternative is preferable to the other.
I think, listen, the jury's still out, right? Because you're still raising them. But I can tell you that I was raised with fear because I went to an evangelical Christian school for 10 years. Yeah. And I used to have nightmares.
This a fear of hell or a fear
the fear of hell.
Yes,
the fear of hell. Like I had dreams about the pitchfork. Anything I would do, I was like, God is watching me.
Oh my gosh.
Any moment, lightning is going to strike. I remember there was this one teacher right before the prom. She would show pictures of sexually transmitted diseases.
Nice.
To the kids.
Okay, but I remember in high schools, they used to have big posters of like if you did chew or smoke too long, it'd be like big graphic posters of people's necks with like holes in them and stuff. It worked on me. It freaked the crap out of me at the time. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. I think there's no, you'll eventually adapt to, how much fear is real and how much of it was justified in terms of learning, but you'll never get a second chance to learn that again. So,
right.
Yeah, might as well be overcautious on the front end.
Greg Tomlin, Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. Time to send it on over to Nate Dogg at the real-time traffic desk.
All righty, down in Olympia, South 5, just before Highway 101. We've got a semi that's on fire. The driver managed to make it to the Gore Point, but fire crews are blocking the two right lanes. And now the on-ramp from Henderson Boulevard, which is right at the scene, that on-ramp is blocked. We've got a 4-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting near Martin Way. Tacoma to Olympia has climbed a 1-hour drive. Over to Gig Harbor, westbound 16, you're heavy from the west end of the Narrows up past Olympic Drive. North 405 in the south end, heavy from South Center through the Renton S-curves. It's a half hour from South Center into Bellevue. Here in Seattle, Linwood to Seattle is a 25-minute trip. You're bumper to bumper from about Lake City Way into downtown. North 5 heavy from the West Seattle Bridge at the Ship Canal Bridge. And Bellevue to Everett, a 50-minute drive. Seattle to Everett is catching up at 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Hey, you know Earthwise Salvage in Soto? That really cool place with all the amazing doors, windows, and other treasure? Great news! They just opened a brand new location nearby. The Salvage Lumber Warehouse is ready to serve as a central resource for contractors, builders, home DIYers, and hobbyist woodworkers, providing access to clean, de-nailed lumber ready for reuse. Flooring, beams, siding, mantles, live edge slabs, and so much more. All harvested from structures, not forests. Visit EWSalvage.com.
When the heat's an 11,
cool AC would be heaven.
DayandNight.net. Stay cool this summer with a new AC or heat pump from Day and Night. And with installation, you'll get a free furnace.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Get a new AC or heat pump now from Day and Night to stay cool this summer. Plus, with installation, you'll get a free furnace.
DayandNight.net.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Rev up your summer at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Explore the new British bike exhibition, professional level race simulators, and mark your calendar for Tacoma Cars and Coffee or family drive-in movie nights. Plan your visit now at americascarmuseum.org.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Santana, Oneness Tour 2026. The power, the energy. Come celebrate your favorite hits from Woodstock to Supernatural and beyond. With very special guest, the Doobie Brothers. This Thursday, White River Amphitheater. On sale now at livenation.com. Santana and Doobie Brothers, Oneness Tour 2026.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Eggs are an incredible source of protein and omega-3s. But have you thought about what the hens eat to make healthier eggs? At Wilcox Farms, our hens enjoy organic pastures and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed, creating vibrant yolks, richer flavor, and real nutrition for your family. Next time you're at the store, choose Wilcox Eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM welcomes a brand new voice to your weekends. Introducing Inside Out with Tammy Michaels, the Pacific Northwest's lifestyle and home improvement expert. With over 25 years of interior design experience and a contractor's license, Tammy brings use the know-how to help you create fresh spaces for happy faces. Design trends, DIY how-tos, innovative products, pet tips, and more. Inside Out with Tammy Michaels. Premiering Saturday, August 8th, 2 to 3 p.m. on KIRO News Radio.
Hello there. Welcome back to the John Curley Show. I'm Angela along with Greg Tomlin. Thank you so much for being with us. Hello to everybody on YouTube. Thanks for watching. This is it official? It's officially election day. It's your deadline.
Election day.
It is your deadline. And the big thing on the G and Ursula show this morning, that our Secretary of State, and him basically saying that if you still have your ballot, which I do not just put it in the mail like you have done in the past. Actually take it to the post office or to get postmarked, or drop it at a ballot box, one of the centers, they call them. And here's why this is important, because I was trying to understand. He was saying that the federal government has changed the way the Postal Service handles postmarks. But then when I went on the actual U.S. Postal Service website, the first line says, we have not changed and are not changing our postmarking practices, which have been consistent.
Oh, well, that's good.
Right? But then I keep reading and it says, while we are not changing, we have made adjustments to our transportation operation.
So a change is not an adjustment.
This is called wordsmithing, or stuff I won't say
Semantics?
on air. Okay, so here's what they say. This means that some mail pieces not arriving at our originating facilities on the same day they are mailed, that may not happen. This means the date on the postmarks applied at our facilities won't necessarily match the date on which the customer's mail was collected by the letter carrier.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So basically before...
I think I'm tracking. So you're telling me this is the most important election of our lifetime. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying... what I'm saying is that used to be, as long as you put it in your box before then, you knew that your letter carrier would get it back to the facility. It'd be postmarked that day. And what they're saying is, nope, that may not happen.
Not so much.
Because of this change, or they're not calling it a change, but an adjustment. Is that the same thing? An adjustment or a change?
In my dictionary, it's the same.
I'm
thing.
reading from their website, y'all, so I'm not making this up. Yeah. So this adjustment means that just because you put it in your mail collector gets it from your house doesn't mean you will get postmarked that day.
So if you're like me and you wait till the 11th hour,
then drop it at your those like
the ballot
for
box.
Me, at the ballot box.
And they're everywhere.
And I always like it because I see people, and because it's at our community center, so I see people I don't get to see. There's usually a long line. You're like, hey, what's up? It's like old times voting the traditional way. Or you can actually take it to the post office and have them postmark it. But and I think this is really because I think we got really spoiled being able to just, put it in our mailbox that day.
Oh, yeah. And I was always told that the last day is fine if you just want to slip it in your mailbox. So that is an important informed voter tip for the day. And the voting centers, I think, close at 8 o'clock. Did you say that?
You got it.
Okay.
8 o'clock.
There's still time, people.
Man, okay, can we just tell just the headline of this transportation story to see what Nate thinks?
Sure.
Just the headline.
Oh, the headline?
Yeah.
Okay,
about the guy, yes.
Yeah. So Doc Brown flew his helicopter into a Cabela's in Wisconsin. Did you hear that story, Nate?
I did, actually.
And his reasoning.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
His reasoning was there was too much traffic, and he had the helicopter at his disposal. And apparently he's not going to face any charges or anything like that. And I didn't know this, but it's perfectly acceptable to fly an aircraft to the store. All right.
And it was only a 50-minute drive, by the way.
Only a 50-minute drive.
That's pretty lengthy.
So if you can afford it and you have the means, do you think we're going to be seeing more of this, Nate?
Well, I don't know a lot of people who own choppers around here, but there are a few. If I was rich enough and I owned one, after hearing this story, I think I would.
Who's that pastor of Pursuit Church? He's always flying a helicopter.
Oh yeah, Casey something or another.
No, Russell.
Yeah, Russell Casey. Casey Russell.
No,
yeah.
No Casey in there.
Oh.
I prefer my pastors don't commute with helicopters, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. All right, Nate Dogg, what's going on the roadways?
It's a busy afternoon. Lake Washington Windows and Doors has our update. And let's start you in Olympia, where we have our biggest issue, South 5, just before Highway 101. 2 right lanes are blocked. where fire crews are dousing this semi-fire. The fire's out now. The Henderson Boulevard on-ramp has reopened following a brief closure, but we've got a 4-mile parking lot starting near Martin Way, Tacoma to Olympia, an hour and 5 minutes. Now, North 5, you've got a looky-loo backup starting at the 101 interchange, so this has southbound 101 jammed up at Crosby Boulevard. Federal Way to Tacoma, a 25-minute trip. Let's see, we've got heavy volumes on southbound 167 between Algona and Puyallup. Bellevue to South Center, 35 minutes. North 5, we're really struggling in the south end from South Center up to the S-curve. South Center to Bellevue is at 35 minutes. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Republican Senator Susan Collins says she'll vote no on Todd Blanche's Attorney General nomination. In a statement, Collins says the Justice Department's become increasingly political. A vote in the full Senate could be Saturday. Blanche can only afford 2 Republican no's. The mayor says Ukraine's capital is under a ballistic missile attack. Oil prices have dropped, but gasoline could go higher because of Ukraine's attacks on Russian oil facilities, says Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy head analyst.
Without any product to export after those refineries have been knocked offline, that is becoming another pain point that we're going to have to watch very closely in the weeks and months ahead.
Bail set at $1 million for a man arrested for allegedly starting the largest of the 3 wildfires in Spokane, Washington. The House Ethics Committee has opened an investigation of Ohio Congressman Max Miller for alleged domestic violence and abuse or illegal drug use. Miller has denied allegations. This is ABC News. More on the 2 deaths in Michigan from the parasitic stomach bug from ABC's Lionel Moise.
Officials say both had significant underlying health conditions that may have been worsened by cyclosporiasis and dehydration. Nationwide, more than 18,000 people have gotten sick in 45 states. The FDA has linked the outbreak in Michigan and 8 other states to iceberg lettuce, sourced by Taylor Farms in central Mexico and served at some Taco Bell restaurants.
3 possible cases of rabbit fever are reported in Suffolk County, Long Island. Bites from infected ticks can spread the disease. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Darian Sutton.
Important to understand here, we typically in the United States see around 200 or so of these cases a year, so this is not abnormal. But what is abnormal is the rise in the number of tick bites. The CDC data shows that this year alone, the number of tick bites is the highest it's been since 2017.
There are flu-like symptoms. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Coming up, we will hear from the man who helped police find that arson suspect in Spokane. It's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, this one brought to us by Seattle Sports. In Olympia, southbound I-5, just before Highway 101, 2 right lanes are blocked due to an earlier semi-fire. The Henderson Boulevard on-ramp is partially blocked as well, but you can still use it. So we now have a 6-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting near Cabela's in Lacey. Tacoma to Olympia has jumped to an hour and 15 minutes. That's a 35-minute delay. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. Your usual backups between Interurban and 516. Bellevue to South Center on 405 is also a 35-minute drive. We're heavy from 520 all the way down to Northeast 44th near the VMAC. North 405 is bumper to bumper from South Center through the S-curves. Just volume here, but it's a lot. In South Center to Bellevue is also a 35-minute drive. Heading into Seattle, North 5, we're heavy from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 is now bumper to bumper from 85th all the way down to I-90. And southbound 99, you're heavy from the Aurora Bridge down to the stadiums. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. It was Saturday afternoon when Paul Child says he was driving with his grandson in Spokane, saw a man in the woods.
And when he saw us, he immediately stood up, turned around to face us and watched us the whole way. Kind of doing that kind of nervous shuffle a little bit, and so that's when the curiosity really got piqued.
Child says he called 911 immediately after seeing smoke in that same area. His tip is what led investigators to 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci. He remains in custody on $1 million bail, now facing first-degree arson charges. Meantime, wildfire smoke from eastern Washington is dropping air quality around Puget Sound today. KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard says we'll start to get some relief on Wednesday night when the winds shift.
During the day, Thursday slowly become more onshore, which means we won't have as much smoke filtering in, but it's still hot and hazy. Friday, we get some relief from the heat, at least a little bit, and the air quality is improving, and that's the trend into the weekend as well.
Renton police say they're investigating a homicide after a late-night call that also left an officer seriously injured on Burnett Avenue South. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports.
It happened just before midnight Monday. Renton officers answered a suspicious person and noise complaint, found a smashed apartment window, and chased a man who Renton PD's Megan Black says attacked the officer.
There was an altercation and the officer was stabbed in the face, across the face. Another officer came and they were able to subdue the suspect.
A blood trail led to a third-floor apartment where a woman was found dead. A suspect is now in custody. Police say it was a targeted attack and there's no ongoing danger to the community. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
He is one of the Seattle Mariners' 50 greatest players. Alex Rodriguez says he expects to be booed when he takes part in the team's 50 season celebration nights. A-Rod Sales, Brock and Salk on 710 Seattle Sports.
I guess there will be cheers because my family will be with me. It'll be at least a handful of people. And I'm going to tell them to cheer really loud so they can mute the other 45,000 that'll be booing out of their minds.
A-Rod was booed by M's fans during his playing days after he left Seattle for that mega contract with the Texas Rangers back in 2000. This Saturday, he will be honored during that special pregame ceremony alongside other Mariners greats. Your forecast now, we are looking at hazy skies again today, again tomorrow, and starting to clear out by Thursday afternoon. That's when the air quality alert will expire. Until then, look for smoky conditions and highs in the mid to upper 80s. Right now, we're at 80 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. We are your Air Quality Index headquarters for the Seattle area. And Angela, we're hovering right around 102 right now. We have gone from yellow into orange. Now, orange is the category that is unhealthy for sensitive groups.
Okay.
Not emotionally sensitive, physically sensitive. They should reduce their prolonged outdoor activity, but most others can continue normal activities.
Yeah, what's unfortunate is that some people do have...
Turn them back on. The coalition includes organizations like Seafair, Visit Seattle, Seattle Sports Commission, Seattle Convention Center, and more. To me, on the surface, Angela, this comes across as common sense. Whenever you get big crowds of people together, it would seem perfectly reasonable and warranted to have cameras on these areas. One, as a deterrent, and two, to be able to catch people in the act of criminal activity. I looked this up through AI today, that there's almost 1 million crimes per year in the U.S. that are solved in part because of automated camera technology. So this is an extremely useful tool for law enforcement, it would seem to me. And I understand that you need to balance that with discussions about privacy and security. And where do you draw the line? I think that's a perfectly valid question. I think there are 60 CCTVs that are operating currently right now.
Yes, we have some in the downtown core, the Chinatown International District, North Aurora, to name a few. Mayor Wilson's perspective on this is, and this is a quote from her, that there are different types of public safety. And so she would argue that you mentioned one aspect of public safety, and her other perspective on public safety has to do with civil liberties and personal freedoms and, civil rights. And so she's waiting for this study, or it's an audit that's being done about our system. And that is being done by the NYU Policing Project on Data Governance, and also the University of Pennsylvania, as I understand it. And that report isn't due back, I want to say, until the fall.
It out so publicly and say we're kind of at odds over this.
Yeah.
We don't want to just settle this quietly. And this is our best shot of affecting change right now. I think that's a really good observation and perspective here. And
it makes me nervous about their relationship. Almost like when this was before FIFA, when you had the mayor and the chief of police on different sides. The camera issue, I mean, think about this. In most jurisdictions, the mayor is the police chief's boss. And the mayor is like, don't want to do the cameras. And then her subordinate, the chief, is like, I'm for the cameras. I mean, if she weren't on his naughty list at that point, before then, she was on it then. I have to imagine when you go against your boss on a topic like that.
And so what you're basically pointing out is that this is a sign of unhealthy working relationships when you're duking it out in public like this, or because usually if things are operating smoothly, if there's a level of health that's going on, these things are getting settled and it's not a big brouhaha.
It's
not written about in the Times
no.
up front.
I think it feels like an act of desperation.
Okay, and so, at the very least, it would seem like she has had a fairly troublesome beginning to her tenure as mayor here.
I mean,
what would you chalk it up to?
I mean, her supporters might say that they wouldn't, I don't know if they would describe it as troublesome. If you're against having those cameras and you're worried about federal, ICE intervention, then you would say she's taking a stand and she's doing the right thing. So, there are different perspectives depending on where you sit with her. But here's what I would say.
So do you think this is just growing pains and that like the dust will settle?
No, I think these are philosophical differences.
You think this is just the beginning? Okay.
I think these are philosophical differences, and it remains to be seen. Is she going to be the type of politician that tries to... I always say that a politician's doing a good job when you're upsetting your supporters and you're upsetting, in other words, you're not making everybody. Yeah, when you're upset, because that means everyone's not getting everything they want, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm articulating it perfectly, but I always love it when a politician, let's say, has a view and they get new information and change their point of view. So I thought it was a good sign that at first she didn't want to have the cameras for FIFA, and then she faced a lot of pressure from the chief, from the community, and then changed her mind.
And
so that
maybe that will be the case here
sign.
With all these organizations
I don't
coming,
know.
some iconic Seattle organizations.
As soon as FIFA was over, she led that press release where it was like, they have been shut off.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm curious as to see, sometimes when you have mayors who've been council people, you kind of see how they operate as an elected official, and we don't have that track record here, so we don't know how she's going to move long term.
And again, it probably goes without saying, and it's a bit of a cliche, but the ability to get elected is much different than the ability to actually in practice be a chief executive, you know what I mean, and have to work with so many different groups and competing ideologies. And she was elected, I think, because she espoused a certain ideology that a lot of people identify with here in the area. But when it comes to actually doing
here, and I think Mayor Wilson has after the whole Starbucks kerfuffle, she realized that and kind of changed her tenor. And so I feel like we've gone a little bit backwards in terms of relationship building with everybody who makes Seattle, Seattle.
Well said. Okay, so turning now to the police chief here who resigned. Was he forced to resign? Was his hand forced? Very interesting details today about a federal tax lien to the amount of $86,000.
Am I yawning?
Now, Mayor Katie Wilson said that there were a lot of reasons behind the scenes that it was necessary for his ouster, I guess. And are we seeing more of those reasons come to light right now? Or is this just an attempt to sort of pile on to look like her decision was more justified in retrospect? What do you think the real motivations are here of this separation? And can some of them be proven, or is a lot of just kind of like atmospheric details and reading into the situation?
There are some members of the media who should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed of themselves for failing the public and for failing, their duty that they have to accurately inform.
Okay, how
the
so?
amount of disinformation and misinformation surrounding this topic. I mean, before we had our discussion today, you thought his like he lived in Chicago.
Well,
right?
He
wasn't. He used to live in. Sick and tired of so-called journalists posting facts without frame of reference or without context, without any historical data. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
And during this shooting at the Bite of Seattle, he was at a conference in Dallas.
He was
I
at a
believe,
conference
right?
in Dallas, a legitimate conference.
But between the months of April and July, he had spent roughly 45 days away from the city. Now, I don't know historical context for that. Logical differences between Katie Wilson, and I'm asking to speculate, and outgoing Sean.
And I'll never forget in the kitchen, he said, because I'm not going to be anyone's puppet. And he said that particular mayor wanted a puppet for a police chief, which means this mayor wanted control of what the police chief did. So I imagine there are in some cities where the mayor and a police chief are kind of in lockstep and they agree. There are some where people just say, hey, chief, I trust you. Do your business. Right. But if you have, and I'm not saying this is Katie Wilson or Mayor Katie Wilson.
You kind of are.
But okay, let's look at facts.
Yeah.
She has a background as an activist, which is great.
Yeah.
I love people who are involved in the community, and you're an activist. And if they bring that activist lens to the mayor's office or to city council or anywhere, then are you going to force your ideals onto the police department? I mean, and so we already saw they disagreed. There were ideological differences. Our sources say this was coming anyway, and they just needed to get through FIFA. But, we aren't one to gossip. But we did
Angela Poe Russell fired up, ready to go. I love it. It's Greg Tomlin and Angela in on the John Curley Show today. Coming up, did banks once turn a blind eye to suspicious moves by... Yep, there's that name again, Jeffrey Epstein. We'll let you know what Senate Democrats have to say about that right after these. But first, let's send it on over to the real-time traffic desk. From G-Child to Nate Dogg.
Whoa, wow. Well, listen, I think you ought to call the cops on Ann. Update, Olympia South 5 just before Highway 101. That right lane is now blocked while crews tend to this earlier semi-truck fire. The semi's in the Gore Point, and we've opened up a lane here, so this is going to help alleviate our 6-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting near Cabela's. Tacoma to Olympia right now, an hour 15. That's a 35-minute delay. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 45 minutes. We're crowded between Renton and Kent, and then your typical heavy volumes between Algona into Puyallup. Seattle to Federal Way, right around a half hour. Seattle to Everett, just 35 minutes, only 20 minutes to Linwood. You're crowded from Shoreline into Linwood, but you're at the speed limit through most of this. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes, 35 to Linwood. Scattered backups from Bellevue into Canyon Park, pretty thick through Kirkland. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, your first thought is, oh my gosh, I need a whole new system. What's that going to cost me? Hold on. Don't panic. The best thing to do is call Home Comfort Alliance. Their approach is so simple. They repair first, replace only if needed. Their technicians diagnose the real problem before recommending anything, because a worn-out part or a simple fix can often get your cooling back up and running without the cost and time of a full replacement. And if you need something new, ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Smart move. Keeps you cool in the summer and warm when winter comes around. All in one system. To find out the cost either way, don't wait on hold or guess. Just head to homecomfortalliance.com and get real pricing in under 60 seconds. No pressure, no guesswork, just honest answers from people that have been doing this for almost 50 years. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, do what we did. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Summer's here, and it's the perfect time to tell you that Integrity Roofing and Construction has been serving and supporting our Puget Sound communities for 10 years. If your roof is aging, storm damage, or just ready for an upgrade, now's the perfect time to schedule your free consultation. With products that last longer and perform better, Integrity's team brings full transparency so you know exactly what your home needs before you spend a dime. And Integrity has locations from Issaquah to Sequim to Everett and Gig Harbor. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com right now. Integrity Roofing and Construction, where doing the right thing matters.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. A Spokane man is being credited with tipping off police to that suspect accused of setting one of the Spokane wildfires. Paul Child says he was driving with family on Saturday when they saw a man in the woods acting strangely. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman has more.
Right when they got home and saw the smoke and flames rise to the sky, this is the thought that went through this man's head.
Ran out there to look, and where the smoke was rising was where that individual was standing, and I told myself, I said, that SOB started a fire.
And he tells me that ever since this happened and he saw this man, those moments have replayed in his head over and over again.
The suspect is 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci. He remains in custody and is due back in court on Thursday. The Trump administration went to court today trying to get undedicated voter rolls from the state of Washington.
The unredacted voter rolls would contain driver's license and partial Social Security numbers. Attorneys for Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs have called it a lawless demand. But last year, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, told the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
Guess who issues the Social Security numbers? The federal government. Who are you keeping secrets from? That is stupid.
The judge gave no indication at Tuesday's hearing that she plans to side with the Trump administration, according to the Seattle Times. And the Justice Department has already lost 20 identical lawsuits. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It is primary election day in Washington. Kendall Hodson is chief of staff at King County Elections. She tells KIRO 7 TV.
At this point, we definitely recommend voters use a ballot drop box. We have 91 across King County. 92% of voters live within 2 miles of a box. So there's lots of options.
And you have until 8 o'clock tonight to drop off those ballots. Washington homebuyers have more options. New data from the Northwest Multiple Listing Service shows active listings jumped nearly 20% in July compared to a year ago. Almost 25,000 homes on the markets, but higher mortgage rates are still continuing to slow down sales. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:32. We check in with Nate Connors.
All right, this one brought to you by Global Credit Union. Tacoma to Olympia, plan on an hour and 15-minute commute this afternoon. That's a 35-minute delay due to a 6-mile parking lot between Cabela's and Lacey. All the way down to Highway 101 in Olympia, where we have a disabled semi blocking your right lane. The Henderson Boulevard on-ramp remains partially blocked at the scene as well. Gig Harbor, westbound 16, we're now packed from the Narrows Bridge up to Willachet. No blocking issues here, just volume. Renton and Puyallup on the Valley Freeway plan on 45 minutes. You're crowded from Renton into Auburn, and then just a brief backup right now between Algona and Pacific in the south end. Here in Seattle, North 5, we're solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Half hour to get through this. South 5 packed from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle's up to 40 minutes. And Bellevue to Renton on 405 is a 35-minute drive. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And to your forecast now, hazy skies and some hot conditions for the next couple of days. Air quality alert still in effect, runs until 5 o'clock on Thursday nights. Temperatures, meantime, will stay in the low to mid 80s, maybe upper 80s on Thursday. Right now, 81 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Start your day with solutions, not problems. KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes. From storms to backups, whatever you'll run into, you'll be prepared. Stay up to the minute every 10 minutes. KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic only on KIRO 7 News in the Morning.
Thank you, Joe. Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. This hour is brought to you by Bucky's Auto Repair.
I love hearing Joe's voice on the air. I'm going to be sending you a question just so I can hear your voice again.
Oh, thank you.
I got a question. Have you all ever heard of the Bank Secrecy Act? I had never heard of this, but essentially it requires that if you work in the banking industry and you suspect a client is moving money to launder it or you're carrying out some type of illegal activity, you are required to report it. Well, some banks are in trouble for allegedly violating this Bank Secrecy Act in regards to Jeffrey Epstein.
There's that name again.
There it
Never
is.
seems
And you
to
know
go
what?
away.
I'm not going to let it go because you know what? Stuff like that doesn't happen alone. There were people who allowed it to happen, who laid back and did nothing. And so there are these senators that are basically saying that these banks turned a blind eye to all the activity that was going on, that more than $1 billion went through these accounts. It was suspicious, and that the banks didn't report it until after Epstein was arrested.
It was pretty wild. The report was released today by Senator Ron Wyden, who's the top Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee, and it alleges that several of the nation's largest banks, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan Chase, ignored or delayed reporting suspicious financial transactions connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And you're right, the totals are mind-boggling. Bank of America, a report of approximately $170 million in payments made to Epstein, even though BOA later concluded many of those transactions appeared to have no legit business purposes whatsoever. Deutsche Bank, $250 million in suspicious wire transfers, and JP Morgan Chase, over $1 billion.
And here's what's wild. So this is the part that got me. So in response, Bank of America is denying it did anything wrong. Deutsche Bank is basically saying we're going to do better next time. JP Morgan ended their relationship with Epstein in 2013. So they suspected something was going on, ended their relationship, but then didn't report it until federal authorities didn't report it to federal authorities until after he was arrested, which is concerning. So I guess my question, because oftentimes when these crimes happen or laws are violated, it's like if you have enough money, no one is held accountable. So what should happen to those who did see that something was wrong, and you saw enough wrong that you ended the relationship? But,
and what's so unfortunate, because the ideal is that justice is blind, right? But then stories like this keep on coming out where it seems like there's one rule for the rich and well-to-do and then another rule for us peasants, right? I mean, and this is kind of related. Maybe you could say it's apples and oranges. But, I mean, even just recently, I was traveling on the East Coast to Florida, and I made a purchase or like a withdrawal from an ATM for a few $100. All my cards were like immediately shut down. I got an email from the bank that was, and I'm not dealing in hundreds of millions and billions of dollars here that, oops, we're just going to turn a blind eye to this. This is a couple $100. And it took hours for me to get my accounts like back online, for me to be able to access my money in my bank. And so I always feel like these institutions are on top of these issues all the time. But, I mean, the assumption here looks like on its surface that they're willing to turn a blind eye in order to keep a wealthy client at the end of the day. I mean, I'm sorry to say, at least that's the conclusion you can draw from this report from Senator Ron Wyden here.
Yeah, and I do think they, in some way, should be held accountable. I don't know if a fine is enough, but the act is pretty clear on that it's a violation. So would you be supportive of some type of criminal charge because here,
I mean, it all depends. Of course, they'll have their chance to defend themselves. And if they want to take this, farther, another step, we'll see. I wonder if Wyden just wants to get this information out there to get people talking about it, or if there's really going to be pushing for some real consequences for these banks.
Because for poor people, they call it accessory to the crime, right? They call it accessory. But I think what's most frustrating for me in this is that Jeffrey Epstein was able to do what he did for so long because people tolerated it.
You have to have enablers.
All around. Like people who see that something's off and you do nothing about it. You need more Mrs. Kravitz's, in these situations. And at the highest levels, like nothing was done.
Yeah. And I think a lot of this goes to human nature and just the power of money and influence, which he had. And I think he was a sociopath and maybe even a psychopath at the same time. But if you have enough money to throw around, I mean, it's tale as old as time. There are enough people willing to turn a blind eye as long as they can maintain their proximity to you and be able to siphon off some of that cash for themselves. It's sickening. It's disgusting. It's wrong. But, it's nothing new.
Yeah, I remember having several years ago a big deposit, and it was related to a job transition. And I walked into the bank.
Man, I could use a big deposit, but go ahead.
I went to the bank, and I was treated like I've never been treated before.
Oh, really?
It was weird.
In what way?
Normally you just
you
go
got a big
in.
fat check or something that you brought in?
Well, it was one of those things where I was at the teller and I'm dealing with the situation, and next thing you know, it's almost like they were summoned with a walkie-talkie. They come over, hello, Mrs. Russell, how are you doing? And I would love to talk to you about investment. I was like, what?
I feel like your motives
I'm like,
are coming under
I have never
question.
been treated like this. Okay, in light of this conversation, what do you make of the other headline that came? This was from an article on PBS. And this is President Trump is suing a bank saying that his accounts were closed unfairly.
Mm-hmm.
And so these accounts were held by Capital One, and Capital One flagged unusual activity with his accounts and debanked him. I didn't know that was a word, but they debanked you.
Debanked, okay.
He believes it was for political reasons, and they're saying, no, there was suspicious activity. And that's why, and so he sued Capital One as well as JP Morgan Chase for allegedly debanking him after he left office. So the lawsuit is asking them for $5 billion. He wants $5 billion from JP Morgan Chase. And the big thing that came out of this for me is that
the number of bank accounts?
500 accounts
That's
at that
insane.
one bank. And this is what I mean about reporting, is whenever, so I want all of you, hear me out. Whenever someone throws out, oh my God, 500 accounts, that's a lot. Or being out of town for 30 days, that's a lot. Comparison.
Oh yeah, please.
What's the comparison, right? So I ended up kind of just doing a simple Google search.
Sure.
And apparently it's not uncommon for serial entrepreneurs to have a ton of accounts. They set up these LLCs. Now, for someone like him who was an elected official, it was curious that the number of accounts doubled right after he left office. So while he was president, he had 250 accounts. And in 2 years, it went to 500. And that was just at that one, which is...
I think it
it's
all
still
stinks.
a lot.
I think it all stinks, Angela.
It's a lot.
And I think one of the biggest stories after Trump leaves office, it should be one of the biggest stories right now, is just how much the man has enriched himself while in office. I think it's wrong, disgusting. I mean, the meme coins, the Bitcoins, you name it. I mean, the fuss that was put up over Hunter Biden and selling his paintings for $500,000 and the amount of round-the-clock attention that got in conservative media, Fox News, you name it. And now the Trump family has enriched themselves to the tune of billions of dollars, and you hardly hear a whisper about it on cable news. Speaks volumes, and I just think it's terrible, and we're going to be studying it and talking about it for years to come.
Yeah, and the bank accounts were for stuff from golf course to wineries to, I mean... I just can't imagine. It's mind-boggling when you hear that number.
Greg Tomlin, Angela Poe Russell, and on the John Curley Show. If you have HBO, perhaps you're thinking about tuning in to the new season of Hard Knocks this evening, which stars your Seattle Seahawks. We're going to be talking about it next, but first let's send it on over to Nate Dogg at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thanks, bud. Olympia South 5, just before 101. We just opened up all lanes at the scene of our earlier semi-truck fire. You'll see the semi in the Gore Point, but no longer blocking issues. Tacoma to Olympia right now, an hour 15 minutes. That's a 35-minute delay. You've got a 6-mile solid backup starting in Lacey near Cabela's, but don't be too discouraged. This only improves from here on out. Here in Seattle, North 5, we're solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Half hour to get through this. South 5, bumper to bumper, coming out of Northgate down to I-90. 40-minute trip from Linwood. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, it's a half hour on both of our bridge routes. Westbound 90 slows from the Mercer Tunnel to I-5. Looks like we have a disabled vehicle as soon as you get on the bridge deck, partially blocking your HOV lane. And westbound 520, you're going to jam up about mid-span over to I-5. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. Seattle to Everett, 40. Everett to Marysville, close to a half hour. We're slow from Lowell Road up to 528. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8180. AdvancedHair.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Jason Rantz here with Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. Greg, there are a ton of national advertisers offering services similar to yours. Why shouldn't I go with one of them?
National firms are an interesting phenomena, if you will,
because I hear from clients that tried them initially, and they tell me these stories that are just really hard to believe, Jason. They'll call, and the person that they're talking to is really a salesperson. They don't really know the tax resolution business at all. They're trying to make a sale. And so they overpromise, and they'll hook them with a very low initial fee. Then when that case starts moving down the road, all of a sudden the person's getting a phone call, oh, you need to pay us thousands of dollars to get this thing done. And they tell me sometimes it never gets done.
So it's a tax resolution scheme without any of the resolution.
I really believe part of it is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn with Nunn Better Tax Resolution. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. There's been a rash of reports of fake contractors ripping homeowners off for roof replacements and other jobs. That's why it is so important to know the company coming to your home. And that's why I put my name behind Valentine Roofing. Every customer can expect the Valentine experience. That's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. So if you think your roof is on its last legs, if you want to beat the rain and beat the mad rush, Valentine Roofing is now offering priority scheduling for your roof replacement. That means when you call Valentine Roofing today, they can get your job started within 3 weeks of signing the agreement. And they make the process so simple. You can expect an estimate with transparent pricing and options that fit your needs in about an hour. Since 2008, thousands of Western Washington homeowners like me have chosen Valentine Roofing for their roofing needs, and you can trust them too. So call 206 Roofing to schedule your free estimate. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Nearly 1 in 4 people killed on the road in Washington weren't driving. Pedestrians on our roads are incredibly vulnerable, whether they're facing drunk, drugged, drowsy, or distracted drivers. Pedestrians are defenseless on our streets. That's why Davis Law Group fights for pedestrian accident victims and their loved ones after a crash. Davis Law Group delivers. So if you or a loved one have been injured, call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we provide top quality windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and stay clear with low maintenance glass. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Greg Tallman and Angela Poe wrestle in on the John Curley Show. Angela, what are you streaming these days? I'm going to put you on the spot. We didn't prep for this. I'm just curious.
So streaming just meaning something I watch on a platform like Netflix or whatever.
Take it any direction you want to go.
I am obsessed with HGTV and their Rock the Block, Battle on the Beach. It's where they'll get 4 identical houses and they'll have 4 different design teams and they compete to win each week. So like this week we're doing kitchens. So they have judges come in. So like let's say this week we're going to do it. And so they have identical houses that aren't finished. So let's say they've just been constructed. Yeah. And they'll say, okay, week 1 we're doing kitchens. And so everyone has several days to do a kitchen. And they'll have judges come in and see how you did the kitchen. And it is amazing to me to see the same space done 4 different ways.
I had an HGTV phase. It'll pass.
A phase? Thank God my Love is Blind phase ended. Yeah.
Love is Blind, Love Island, and all those good shows. Well, tonight I'm going to be streaming the new HBO season of Hard Knocks because it features our hometown heroes in blue, the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
A different type of reality TV. So Hard Knocks is a docuseries that follows NFL teams at training camp, and they're usually like, I think, 4 to 6 episodes long. What's cool about it is they film like this one day, and then a week later the episode comes out. So they're pretty current, every episode that continues to come out
so
week over week.
So this wasn't filmed a year ago. This was filmed
very
recently.
current.
Interesting.
So like you'll see a preseason game played, and then 5 days later you'll have an hour-long produced show about that week of training camp, and then that preseason game.
Even less. It's less. So if there was a game yesterday or on Sunday, and we'd be seeing the episode on Tuesday. So
is it really like a 2-day
days
turnaround, which is wild? I mean, considering all the production that goes into it, the editing. If anyone who's ever done video editing, just you have copious amounts of footage, and then you try to build the storyline from it. But I'm really excited to see the Seahawks featured in this season. They're the first reigning champs to be featured in Hard Knocks since I think the series debuted back in 2001 with the Baltimore Ravens, if I'm not mistaken. And if you remember, the sort of theme or the motto of the team last year was Mission Over Bull. And I'm really
Mission over
BS. Mission over BS.
Oh, okay.
Basically, quiet the noise, quiet the personalities. We've got a mission, and the team is out to fulfill that mission. And they did, in a very business-like way, win the Super Bowl last year. There wasn't a lot of distractions. There wasn't a lot of people on the team drawing an unnecessary amount of attention to himself, and so on and so forth. So what I can't wait to witness is the type of culture that has been fostered by Mike McDonald and the other coaching staff at the Seahawks there, because it's clearly proven to be a winning formula in a relatively short amount of time. And with any organization, whether it's a business, a sports organization, a church, culture is upstream of everything. And so I'm kind of excited to see what I can learn from Seahawks culture in terms of what makes it so successful.
And just to be clear, this show started in 2001.
Yeah, it's been
and
25
this is
seasons.
The first time they featured the Seahawks.
Yep. So, and a championship team, no less. A lot of times it's obscure teams that are, have horrible records the year before. I'm like, what interest do I have in this?
What does it take to be noticed by these people sometimes,
Right.
By the way,
well, we're getting our moment.
So my wife is not a huge football fan, but she loves the show because it humanizes everybody and the athlete, even the players that are trying to get a spot on the practice squad. Like, you really get to know them and their stories. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
They'll interview family members and even like feature the home lives of some of these players and stuff. So it gets you really invested. But look for that tonight. Hard Knocks debut featuring the Seattle Seahawks this evening on HBO. Greg Tallman and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. We'll be right back in a moment. But first, let's send it on over to Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thank you, sir. Tacoma to Olympia. Plan on an hour and 10 minutes as we recover from an earlier semi-truck fire down in Olympia. That has cleared. It's left us with a 6-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting right in front of Cabela's there in Lacey. Gig Harbor, our backup is continuing to grow westbound 16. You're now bumper-to-bumper from Jackson Avenue on the east side of the Narrows Bridge all the way up to Wallachia. Again, just volume. There are no blocking problems. Seattle to Federal Way, a 35-minute drive. You're slow approaching 405 to 516. North 405 in the south end. We're heavy from South Center through the Renton S curves. In Seattle, North 5, bumper to bumper from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on a half hour to clear this. South 5 is packed from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, a 40-minute commute. And Everett to Marysville is going to take you a half hour. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner. If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it. Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, I know something you probably haven't done in a while. Climb into your crawl space or your attic. Yeah, me neither. Mike Salk here. And most homeowners avoid those areas for good reason, but it's important to check on them regularly, especially here in the Northwest where groundwater can wreak havoc and many homes lack the proper insulation in these spaces. So when it's hot in the summer, your house gets even hotter. And guess what? When it's cold in the winter, your house gets even colder because you don't have enough insulation. The good news, you don't have to crawl into those dingy areas because Crawl Pros will do it. They go where you don't want to. That's what they did at my house. They found a little rodent intrusion and they found the insulation problem. So yeah, they can help you get it all fixed just like they did with me. And if you need any work done, local utility companies offer rebates that could save you thousands on your project. Don't just assume that your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront costs. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
George Thorogood and the Destroyers, the fattest show on earth, with the Robert Cray Band. August 6th, the Tulalip Amphitheater. Don't get tickets on sale now at Tulalip and Quilcena One Club Desks or Ticketmaster.
At Guardian Roofing Gutters and Installation, we stand by our quality gutters. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation. And visit us at guardianroofing.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Voting no for Todd Blanche, Maine Republican Susan Collins, meaning President Trump's nominee can lose only one other Republican and still be confirmed as Attorney General. Collins uncomfortable, she says, with blanket tax immunity that Blanche arranged for Trump. Justice Department poll monitors are in place for Michigan's primary today, which ABC's Rick Klein says normally would not be unusual, but
because it's a state where President Trump is alleged without evidence to have seen voting irregularities, because of how aggressive this Department of Justice has been, it definitely raises eyebrows.
The Michigan Senate race is a test to see if voters support the mainstream Democrat, Representative Haley Stevens, or the socialist-leaning progressive Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed. Ohio's Max Miller, now under an ethics investigation for alleged domestic abuse, says tonight he will not quit Congress or his re-election campaign. Armed suspect arrested at Trump National in L.A. while taking pictures today. This is ABC News. Tens of thousands of student borrowers are about to have their loans forgiven.
I trained in computer-aided drafting at ITT Technical Institute.
For half a century, its commercials filled the late-night airwaves until 2016, when ITT closed its 130 campuses, leaving students like Robert Hall wondering,
how do we get the money that we put into the program?
A decade later, he might finally have an answer. A federal appeals court has ordered the U.S. Department of Education to forgive the loans of 170,000 students of more than 150 for-profit schools accused of misleading the public about their graduates' job prospects. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Water levels along Europe's Danube River are so low now because of drought, dozens of World War II German battleships are appearing. The ships in the middle of the river between Serbia and Romania belonged to Nazi Germany's Black Sea Fleet that were deliberately sunk as they retreated from the Soviets. I'm Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Coming up, heartbreak turns to anger in Spokane, where an arson suspect is accused of starting a wildfire. The story after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, this one brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Tacoma to Olympia, an hour, 5 minutes as we slowly recover from an earlier semi-truck fire in Olympia. It's left us with a 6-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting at Cabela's there in Lacey down to Highway 101. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway has improved to 40 minutes. We've got scattered backups between Renton and Kent, and we're already clearing out south of State Route 18. In fact, all that's left is a brief 2-mile thick backup through Pacific. Federal Way to Tacoma, under 20 minutes now. You're crowded from State Route 18 into Fife. Here in Seattle, North 5, we're bumper to bumper from that Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on a solid half hour to get through this. South 5, we're packed from Northgate to I-90. It's a 40-minute trip from Linwood. Bellevue to Renton on 405 is going to take you a half hour. You're slow from 520 all the way to Northeast 44th near the VMAC, where HBO's Hard Knocks is being filmed. Otherwise, we're just seeing typical backups around the region. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Seasons Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. The arson suspect who's accused of starting one of those wildfires in Spokane previously served time for killing his father in Arizona. The news unsettling for many residents who lost everything. Chelsea Riley says her parents' home is now a pile of ashes.
It changes things. It kind of, you could make sense of it when it was an act of God somehow, but now that it's arson, someone did this to our family, and that's hard to wrap our brains around.
37-year-old Aaron Fibonacci was arrested Monday and remains in custody. The fires destroyed at least 700 homes and other buildings and continues to pour smoke into western Washington. KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard on where the air quality is worst.
East of Puget Sound, in the Cascade foothills, in the Cascades, and a few places farther south as well. We're going to see smoke and haze today. We're going to see smoke and haze tomorrow. But I think that smoke and haze turns off tomorrow night, and our wind direction slowly comes from the other way overnight Wednesday and especially during the day Thursday.
Air quality alerts are issued all around Puget Sound until 5 p.m. Thursday. A Renton police officer is recovering after being stabbed during a late-night call that turned into a homicide case. Renton PD's Megan Black says officers responded just before midnight to an apartment with a broken window and a suspicious person.
Officers backtracked to the original location where they noticed some blood. They followed the blood up to the third floor and located a female who was deceased inside the apartment.
She says during a foot chase and arrest, the officer was stabbed in the face. Police say this was a targeted attack. There is no ongoing danger to the public. One of the Mariners' greatest players does not expect a very warm welcome during the team's 50-season celebration night on Saturday. Alex Rodriguez announced on 710 Seattle Sports he's taking part in the event, telling Brock and Salk.
I've been getting booed there for 27 years, so I kind of had lost hope that this story would come full circle, and I'm over the moon, and thank God for the opportunity.
A-Rod calls Seattle his first love, but many fans are still bitter. He left the M's in 2000 to sign that mega contract with the Texas Rangers. To your forecast now, it's not a pretty one, unfortunately, with all that haze still lingering in the region. It'll stick around through at least this Thursday. Again, that air quality alert's running until 5 p.m. Thursday, going to be on the hot side as well. Mid to upper 80s the next couple of days. Right now, 77 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. Thank you so much for joining us on this smoky Tuesday here in the Northwest. Honored and privileged always to be here on KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. Aaron Granillo, we were talking a little bit about the docuseries Hard Knocks last hour.
Yeah.
The Boys in Blue, the Seahawks, are going to be featured tonight in the season premiere. Is there any baseball equivalent to a show like Hard Knocks that you can think of? Because there's just as many compelling stories out of professional athletes who play baseball than football.
No, I can't think. I can think of a golf one.
There's like an F1, there's golf, but I'm like, where's the baseball
So see, this is
to
the
that?
need you were meant to fulfill, Greg.
It could be.
It could be your next venture, your producer,
There's
too.
some, like, after the season that kind of recaps everything. I think teams do some kind of long documentaries. At least I don't.
I wonder if the season is just so long. But like football is like you got hard hitting, you got violence, you got week over week, you got injuries. Baseball is just kind of a more methodical, just week to week. The clubhouse can kind of be quiet and business as usual, and so maybe there aren't as many.
You could do like a week spring training though, something.
You'd
like
want
that.
to see it though,
I
because
would,
you're the
personally,
baseball fanatic,
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Okay, if there were a Hard Knocks like show that featured on the Seattle Mariners in it right now, what do you think would be the most compelling storyline on that series?
If it was the spring training version, it would certainly be the Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena handshake. That
Can you imagine if we had cameras documenting that? And maybe we're still feeling the effects of some of that, what went down at the World Baseball Classic. But anyways.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this back up because I stand corrected. I want to add a little more clarity because I was, a little annoyed that the Seahawks had not been featured on Hard Knocks before, even though it's been around since 2001. And this is why I love our text line and I love our listeners, because Kara texted and said, actually, we had the opportunity and we turned it down. So I find this old article from 2012 featuring Pete Carroll and John Schneider were being interviewed by, this was featured on NFL.com.
Okay.
And they basically said, they put their feelers out there and they said they're just not interested, that they're there to win games and they're not interested in being entertainment for everyone to see. And then Pete Carroll said that the cameramen would need roller skates and mopeds to keep up with the Seahawks during filming.
Well,
so they just said that we'd be an interesting subject, but that's not what they're there to do. So they turned it down.
Well, and I could see the counter argument too, because it can be a bit of a distraction to have cameras filming every part of
there's
training
a lot of
camp.
coaches that are just unwilling to open their camps up.
Yeah, and you have to watch every word that you say because then it'll be there for posterity for everyone to see. And you slip up on one little comment in the heat of the moment when you're coaching someone and you have a bad moment, and then that becomes your permanent reputation. So I get some of that caution.
Yes.
I wonder how much of final say each team has episode to episode. Like, don't include that, include this.
I would assume none. I think
you really would assume none.
Yeah, I think you have to probably that's part of the package. You have to be willing to just give full editing rights over.
Okay,
that'd be tough. And if this were 2001 when it first started, the stakes aren't as high. But now with social media, anything you say can be repeated over and over and over.
Speaking of social media, do you have this clip, Joe? Because they debuted a little segment of the show early, and it features head coach Mike McDonald of the Seahawks talking to, I think, one of the safeties who plays on defense for the Seahawks. And this is partly what got me so excited to watch this show.
About practice, because, I do want to go out there, but, I don't want to scoot around, the fans see me, and
the safety's injured. Yeah, he's injured and he's riding around on a cart and he's expressing to the head coach, hey, it's kind of awkward to go out there and mingle with the fans because I look weak or so on and so forth.
So, what do you think I'm going to say? I don't know. I actually don't know.
Whatever is the best for you to get you
as healthy as possible, as quick as possible, that's what you should be doing. So sometimes it's like, I need to go home and go sleep. Sometimes it's, I gotta wake up with a great attitude and tag to this. Sometimes it's, I'm done with my rehab for right now, I should go be with my teammates. Yeah. Anybody that doesn't have any effect on that, install this, whatever. Yeah. It's like someone talking about you on Twitter. Yeah. It's like it's gonna go away in 15 seconds. Everything will pass. Yeah, it does. You're right. Yeah. See that note card right there? It says this new hotshot coordinator is terrible. Rex Ryan. And I deserved it. We were dog on defense, and he was talking mad. And back then, I used to care so much about like image and now he thinks that we're the best thing ever. Yeah. I was like, I remember, Yeah, I keep receipts too. I like to prove people wrong. But even still, there's always this thing of like people's version of me and what they think of me is not me. Yeah. So it's like, I'm okay with that.
Is that a preview clip?
Come on, doesn't that get you fired up? Yeah, that's a preview clip.
That sounds
series.
like tea.
And it's cool because
it is all tea.
It's all tea, exactly right.
The show is, yeah.
And you just feel like you're getting a little glimpse behind the curtain. And I'm compelled by storylines of leadership and players and coaches and inspiring people with like bits of wisdom and having your ways influenced by experience and perspective. All of it just hits all of my sensibilities in just the right way. So here we go.
You have me excited. I'm gonna my husband's gonna be thrilled that I bring this up. Right?
Maybe you can watch it together, and then we'll talk about it later in the week. All right, another big story today. It is Election Day, primary election day, and as we stated earlier, make sure you find one of those many ballot boxes around the Seattle area and in Seattle, because if you try to use USPS today, it might not be postmarked on election day, so it might not count. So we're recommending you go to ballot box drop off, as is the Secretary of State who's recommending that.
Yes,
That's correct.
Because of adjustments and Postal Service policy. And yes.
What about voter participation? And I guess this would be considered an off year, would it not? There's no presidential election this November or anything like that.
Yeah. So is this the question of, should we be required to vote?
Yes. So there's a Seattle Times opinion piece that says the United States should seriously consider compulsory voting, and the author makes a pretty compelling argument. I want to find where you fall down on this argument. And basically, key points that the author makes is the electorate is not representative of the country, that low turnout amplifies the influence of political extremes, and that Australia is also presented as a model that currently does this. I didn't know that about Australia. But
I didn't know that either.
Compulsory voting with modest penalties for failing to participate without a valid excuse. That sounds dystopian to me personally. Maybe I'm turning over some of my cards on where I fall in this argument, but Angela, you have the floor.
Comparisons were about like we do it with jury duty. I guess we don't find people per se. Or maybe you could... If you give an excuse, if you don't give an excuse, what could happen to you if you don't do?
Can you?
That's what it says, but
does that happen?
Right.
So I mean, there's a little bit of that with jury duty, and that you have a duty to do this. So the argument comes from, is this another public duty that people should do?
Yeah, you said duty. Yeah, go ahead.
So then there was the idea of, well, what if we incentivize people to vote, which is maybe you get some kind of tax break if you vote. My opposition to that is that would involve the IRS having state voter records, and I'm just not a fan of that at all. But yeah, it is disappointing to me that so few people. What's the latest data? That 40%
of eligible
that's not
voters,
it. That's not it.
19%, I think, had
awful.
19% as of this morning.
See, I'm in favor of that.
But that's so far. Like so far in this election and this, but I'm saying in general. Let me just stall for a second. I'm going to find out.
Stalling, stalling in the key of life.
Okay, because we do have such low voter turnout that it does frustrate me that it's when we have these
But
elections.
why does
it's
it frustrate you? I want to get to the heart of that because it doesn't frustrate me. I don't see it as a problem whatsoever. I don't think there should be an assumption that more people voting would necessarily make a society better.
It just shows lack of engagement.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's lack of engagement, and it's apathy. It's thinking it doesn't matter. And then for me, knowing my history, or I should say our history, American history, how some people were prevented from being able to vote, that people, lost their lives in pursuit of the right to vote. I feel guilty if I don't take advantage of this privilege of voting. So, like, I would say, and what I did find interesting about this article, it did say that in the U.S., some states had done this before, like in the late 1800s. And so I found that I was like, oh, shoot, we kind of been there, but then it kind of disappeared. Wait, I can pull it up.
Joe's raising his hand. Do you have a comment?
Oh, Joe, please help. Yes.
Part of the reason
Call on me.
Part of the reason that this article was interesting is because they focus on the fact that when you have such low turnout, it causes fringe parties or fringe elements to dominate in elections, and the money really matters. So the people that are motivated by a level of activism or whether it's good or bad, that's who turns out to vote. And there are people who can be influenced by money, lobbying, that sort of thing. That tends to be the turnout. So this would kind of level the playing field. If everybody just voted, you wouldn't have just the people that have an agenda voting.
Okay, but then you're also inviting a very large group that is either uninformed, apathetic, or ignorant to participate in elections, which could sway things, I think, arguably much worse than they are currently for people that do the bare minimum, which is, fill in the boxes. At least you hope those people are somewhat informed. But I mean, we often talk about voting in the United States of America as sort of like this sacred exercise and this civic duty that should be solemnly carried out. But at the same time, not all citizens have the capacity or time to develop deep thoughts and meditations on government and deliberations about the merits of giving candidates and policies. And many people are consumed by their work and family and other responsibilities they have. And that's just fine. If you want to go about, like, part of the freedom we have in this country is the freedom not to choose, right? And that's something we can celebrate at the end of the day. Furthermore, I don't know if this relates, but I think it kind of does. The founders always warned about direct democracy, how that was such a bad idea. And so if you force everybody to vote, I mean, the swings and the ebbs and flows, I think, would be even more violent than we see now, because change in the United States with the current structure, it's kind of hard to attain. I mean, just think about like ratifying the Constitution, how difficult that is. But you can inspire the population in mass through a charismatic figure or a charming character, and get people all on board and fervent, and just you'd see the winds of change come faster and more abruptly than ever before. And so if you want to sit out, I say more power to you. If you want to be involved and engaged in the process, more power to you. I read this piece by Kevin Williamson, who's an author at National Review. He makes a brilliant point that I thought. He said, if we had had a fair and open and direct vote by all voters about the issue of slavery in December 1865, slavery would have won in a landslide. Okay? Instead, we got the 13th Amendment. Secretary of State William H. Seward issued the official proclamation ending chattel slavery in 1865. Thank God for that. If there was a direct vote on abolishing the death penalty would be sustained. So representative government, which we have in practice, means that government is carried out by fewer people and important decisions are made by fewer people. I think that's by design. That's not a flaw necessarily. So I hate the thought of the government making it compulsory for every single citizen to have a say in the matter.
Those are such interesting.
But your arguments are valid too.
I think
That's
you've
why
made
I think
some. I think you've made some really valid arguments. I think I'm going to land on it's an interesting idea, but I would be more focused on how do we make voting easier in the sense of, do we make voting like Election Day a holiday where people can take the time to do it? where, that we
I don't
just
think I'd be
improve
opposed to
access.
that. Yeah.
But here's what I am concerned about, and this is an unpopular opinion. And Joe, I don't know if you're able to like Google this for me quickly and see what comes up from an official source. But I'm wondering, did mail-in voting increase like voter turnout in terms of election participation? Because in theory, it seems like it would. But I looked at I'm talking presidential election. We had, so nationally, we still had close to 40% of people not vote. And I'm not sure how many states have mail-in voting right now, but several do. And I'm just curious, if you were to look at Washington before mail-in and after, like, have we increased voter turnout? I think with the lack of a holiday, it's made it more accessible. But I do think there was something about having a day and all showing up at the box. And if we made it a holiday, then
the short answer to your question is yes. I'm just trying to find it did increase turnout.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Numbers.
That's good. No, that's good. Well, that's so. I'm not, to be clear, I actually love the mail-in system because it's accessible. I'm just wondering, for those of you that do mail-in and you still don't vote intentionally, not because you forgot and it's on the counter, but like intentionally, like why?
And I'm also curious. I want some data on who is reading the voter pamphlet before they cast their ballot.
That's me.
I do too. I hate to say I started it more in my 30s. I didn't do it before that. But now it's exciting reading. When you're 44 years old, there's nothing better. I mean, bust out a glass of wine and bust open that voter pamphlet.
Someone gave me a tip on the text line. One more reason why I love the text line, because I have to end up flipping all these pages, and I'm sure you do the same. They were saying there's an online version, and then you can just control F and find your person that you're looking up or your issue. And I was like, brilliant. They're going to save me so much time so I can get to the box before 8 tonight.
I don't know why I've never thought of finding the online
right
version.
That's going to be so much faster than all the flipping and highlighting and
really quickly, just when Hawaii went to mail-in voting, they saw a 14% jump in turnout. Utah saw an 11% jump. I can't find Washington yet, but it did increase.
Okay, that's interesting.
What do you think? Make voting compulsory for all Americans. 888-973-5476. Greg Tomlin and Angela Poe Russell in on the John Curley Show. Coming up, we're going to be talking about a new major or new degree that lots of people are mocking at ASU. Did you know that you could get a degree in influencer, social media influencer? We'll talk about it coming up. Let's send it on over to the real-time traffic desk and Nate Connors.
Thank you, Greg. Seattle Sports has our update. North 5 is solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. A half hour to clear this. But once you do, it's wide open until you get into Mountain Lake Terrace, where we're just seeing scattered backups just past the Linwood interchange. So Seattle to Everett, another 35 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. We're packed from I-90 to Northeast 60th and Kirkland from an earlier crash that just recently cleared. And then from there, just brief pockets of backups close as you head into Canyon Park. Everett to Marysville, just under a 20-minute commute. South 5 heading into Seattle. We're still packed from Northgate to I-90. 45 minutes now from Linwood into downtown. North 5 jams up at the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Let's see, Tacoma to Olympia, we're down to 55 minutes. You're going to slow through DuPont into Nisqually, and then still a hefty backup starting at Cabela's in Lacey down to Highway 101. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You know how some parts of the house don't work? Let me explain. There's that closet that you've got that when you open it up, everything falls out. Or you try to find something, you can't because it's not working. There's too much stuff in there. And how about the garage? I know some people that can't park their car in the garage because there's everything else parked in the garage. You see what I'm saying? There might be some other parts of the house where it's just packed and there's no place to store anything. So maybe you've even gone to renting one of those storage units. Well, that adds up every single month. You can't even remember what's in there. So a better investment to get parts of those house working would be Closets by Design. The consultant comes to your house. They look at the problem. They know that each one of these problems that need to be solved have to be customized. But you don't get a big customized price. You're going to get 40% off plus an additional 15% off in 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. I really became a believer in Closets by Design when they came out to the barn in Cle Elum. You should see the work that they did. My goodness. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Your old water heater's starting to peter. Day and Night.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
Day and Night.net.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Beat the rain and beat the mad rush. Valentine Roofing is now offering priority scheduling for your roof replacement. When you call Valentine Roofing today, they can get your job started within 3 weeks of signing the agreement. And they make the process so simple. You're going to receive an estimate with transparent pricing and options that fit your needs in about an hour. So call 206 Roofing to schedule your free estimate. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. New information tonight about that arson suspect accused of starting one of the devastating fires that's destroyed hundreds of structures in Spokane. ABC's Alex Stone is there.
Spokane Sheriff's deputies taking 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci into custody outside of his home late Monday. Paul Child says he's the citizen who called police after seeing a suspicious man on the side of the road Saturday.
He was bent over, looking towards, doing something in the grass and towards the tree line area.
Oh my God, dude. The fire's destroying at least 700 homes and other buildings.
Authorities say Farinacci once spent time in prison in Arizona for killing his father. He is due in court this Thursday, now on suspicion of first-degree arson. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports the state ready to take on any insurance companies that deny damage claims from the fires.
Herb Weisbaum, contributing editor at checkbook.org, tells me for homes that survive the fires sweeping through Spokane, there could be problems hidden inside.
That house may have been filled with toxic smoke from all the burning houses around it, lead and mercury and cadmium.
Many homeowners in California are now suing insurance companies that denied smoke damage claims. Washington's Office of the Insurance Commissioner tells me they're keeping a close eye on claims here. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Fred Meyer shoppers saw flames and smoke inside the Bothell location this afternoon. Everybody got out safely. Firefighters put out those flames. No word yet how the fire started. A Southwest Washington man is charged with killing a bald eagle. Details from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
66-year-old Benjamin G. Allen of Brush Prairie is accused of shooting and killing the bird with a shotgun this past February. Federal prosecutors say Allen kept chickens not far from where the dead eagle was found. He's charged with violating the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act and unlawfully killing a migratory bird. If convicted on both charges, he could get up to 18 months in prison and fines totaling $505,000. He's due in federal court in Tacoma on September 8th. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And we turn now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Global Credit Union has the update. Let's start you in Everett, South 5 and State Route 526. We've got a collision blocking 3 left lanes. Just learning now that this has turned into a fatality, so this leaves just the far right lane open. We have a solid 3-mile backup approaching the scene starting at Broadway, so this will be with us for a while. Everett to Seattle has spiked to an hour and 20 minutes, 45 from Linwood, and we're packed from Northgate Way all the way to I-90. Everett to Bellevue, in comparison, is 50 minutes, 25 from Linwood. 405 is all clear until you get into Bellevue, and then once you do, it's packed all the way down into from 520 to the VMAC. North 5 in Seattle, solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. We're packed from I-90 to Northeast 60th in Kirkland as we recover from an earlier crash at the scene there. And Tacoma to Olympia, we're down to 55 minutes. A little slowing through DuPont into Nisqually, and it is still jam-packed from Cabela's in Lacey all the way down to Highway 101. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
We'll have at least one more day of poor air quality around here. That wildfire smoke hanging around into tomorrow and again for Thursday, but it will be much better by Thursday afternoon. That's when the air quality alert ends at 5 o'clock. We'll also see some hot conditions the next couple of days. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. Right now, 77 and hazy in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back. We're glad you're still hanging out with us. I'm Angela Poe Russell along with Greg Tomlin.
This hour brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us here on the John Curley Show. You may have heard people making jokes about it. The new influencer degree at Arizona State University. Technically, it's called a Bachelor of Arts in Content Creation. And I want to hear from you before I give my thoughts on this, Greg. What was your initial reaction to this new degree?
Yeah, good question. And you phrased it just right in terms of I had an initial reaction and then I thought about it a little longer and I went, maybe I should reconsider my reflex. So First impulse was to say, oh, this is silly. This is ridiculous. Far too many kids growing up today want to be influencers. That's a shame. We need more architects and engineers and electricians and plumbers and people getting into the trades. Society's all going to hell in a handbasket. Then I thought about it a little bit. And honestly, this is an avenue where millions of Americans find some source of revenue. It might not be their full-time job, but it can be a very valuable skill to have. I'm pretty much self-taught in content creation, but I use it as a form of supplemental income, whether for my band. I'm doing a lot of stuff online, editing videos, doing content creation to try to get the message out to market us. I do it in my other capacity as a radio producer, editing videos and posting stuff on Instagram and YouTube and learning how to use the tools.
So wait a minute. So you're a musician.
Yeah.
Having to learn and do content creation.
Exactly right. So what I'm saying is the application of this skill can be pretty broad and even apply to things like the trades, like you're an electrician and, how do I get attention for my business? Okay. So in some way or another, you're being a bit of an influencer. I guess we can use that term loosely.
We all have been forced to be influencers if we want to win.
I think that's
all
exactly right.
I had a chef recently tell me that I used to just have to cook and run my restaurant. And now in order to get butts and seats, I've got to be an influencer and a content creator. Mm-hmm. So I think these jobs are going to be in demand. Anyone who, so anyone who, let's say if you're any business you're trying to run, you're going to need this skill.
I just, last week, I think it was reading a story about a female locksmith in New York City. And she went viral because there are so few female locksmiths in the city. And there is a huge market for women who are locked out of their home or locked out of their car or something, and they feel uncomfortable with some strange guy coming over with his big bag of lock picking tools. And she went viral, and she makes over $1,000 a day as one of the few female locksmiths. It's because of her social media presence.
I stumbled upon a woman, I think it was in Arizona or California or something like that runs a laundromat. And she has like 1 million followers on social media. Some of her income now comes from running the laundromat, but most of it now comes from her 1 million followers on Instagram. And so she has advertisers coming up to her. So she's a content creator, but she found this fusion or this crossover that's working for her. And again, it doesn't have to mean like everybody who gets into the influencing game or the content creation game is going to be Mr. Beast or Ryan Trahan or any of these people that are just crushing it. But you can make a nice supplemental income if you wield the tools correctly and are able to garner eyeballs. Unfortunately, here's the sad part about this, is that when you rely on visuals to garner attention, you often default to doing things in the extreme to get more attention to your page. So I don't think it's good for the human soul necessarily, because what's most eye-catching and what's most eye-grabbing and usually going to get a lot of traffic to you are the extremes and the weird and the bizarre and the, I've never seen anything like that before. I got to click it, or I stop swiping when something abnormal comes up. Mm-hmm. And so if you're just doing mundane things or kind of normal things and putting them, people don't tend to stop.
Yeah.
And so it creates kind of a gross dynamic, if that makes sense.
Yeah. When I think of degrees, though, and the number of useless ones that are out there that you're just like, can you get a job with this? Like this one you could get a job with. It says they're going to learn about audience analytics, copyright law, media writing and ethics, building a business, production, social media strategy, personal branding. I mean, these are things that you can quickly apply. Is that a worry for you, Joe, that it will go in the direction that Greg talked about of going into extremes? Because they're also going to learn have better storytelling skills, because storytelling is at the heart of people doing well.
Well, I hope they teach ethics alongside.
It does say here, it says media writing and ethics.
Okay.
Well, I think you immediately go to, I'm creating my own brand and I'm the influencer. But as an employee, too, these skills are incredibly valuable these days. So if you're going to work for somebody else, having a social media degree is going to be something that people, especially like in our business, for example.
We're going to hire them.
Exactly.
Well,
We're going to hire them.
Let me tell you how I've experienced this being the front man for a band, and that is we don't have a ton of social media followers, but I feel like we have an incredible product. Like objectively, I think we're a cut above a lot of bands doing the same thing we're doing. But some of those bands have like 10 times the amount of followers on social media. And a lot of times it's the unfortunate reality, but these venues or these events are constantly checking what is your online presence as a way to afford you merit to get hired for something. And so we're painfully lacking in that area. And I'm like, well, maybe it's because I'm 44 and like this is a generation thing and I don't know how to wield it properly to get those eyeballs. But it's a huge part for many industries for making a living into the future. And you better learn it now or you're going to kind of be left in the dust. And the people that are going to outpace you and be more successful are the ones that know how to, use this technology.
Well, it's happening hiring too. Yeah.
People ask me all the time about radio and how to get into radio and what should I do if I want to get into radio. And if you were to ask me today, I've got the option of going to get this social media degree or a communications broadcast degree. Ooh. Which should I do? I would tell them to get the social media degree.
That is interesting.
Same. Yeah, I would probably do that and then do an internship on the journalism side. Right. And this particular course is in their journalism and communication school.
Under the umbrella.
So they are seeing it under the umbrella. But I think it's it feels like a modern way to approach this. I mean, because I feel like you can, if they're going to talk, I feel like you can take classes on take journalism-related classes to learn the things you need to learn, do internships. I'm with you, Joe. I think that's a really good point. So, good for ASU for modernizing curriculum.
It could be more common at universities. I mean, and then look, if we have philosophy majors out there, I mean, how many full-time jobs in philosophy are there? You could study 18th century French poetry. Now you can study social media influence. It makes sense.
You could be a mayor of a town because wasn't that Mayor Wilson's major, philosophy?
That's right.
I think it was.
Mayor. Oh, okay.
Yep.
There you go.
She did. Yeah. Well, I won't go there. Okay. Let's get to traffic.
Right.
Nate
Connors.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors has our busy update. Up in Everett, South 5 at State Route 526, we have an unfortunate fatality that has closed 3 left lanes. This just happened in the last 15 minutes. So right now, the far right lane is open. We have a bumper-to-bumper backup starting at 41st. Everett to Seattle is going to take you an hour and 20 minutes, 45 from Linwood, and we're packed from Northgate Way all the way to I-90. Everett to Bellevue, just 55 minutes in comparison, 20 from Linwood. 405 is all clear until you get into Bellevue. Now, North 5 heading into Seattle, we're solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's a half hour to clear this, but once you do, it's wide open until you get into Linwood, basically, where it's just minimal slowing past that interchange. Seattle to Everett, another 35 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes, and we're packed from I-90 into Kirkland, and then from there, it starts to thin out as you head into Canyon Park. Bellevue to Renton on 405s at 35 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia still at 55 minutes. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud, it's hot.
Join KIRO News Radio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, Dad, have you heard the news from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services?
No, I haven't.
Eggs have climbed higher than ever on the new food pyramid, and that's great news for anyone who loves starting the day strong.
Well, at Wilcox Family Farms, we make it easy with our ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs. They're a delicious, protein-packed snack you can grab on the go. now ranked higher than ever.
Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're over 62 and worried about how far your retirement savings will go, I'd like you to hear this. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home and want to stay, but feel financial pressure every month. Property taxes keep going up. Insurance costs more. Everyday bills add up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment. If you're wondering how long your savings need to last, a reverse mortgage may be worth a look. It could eliminate your mortgage payment, pay off debts, and give you breathing room every month. Now, I want to make it clear it's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can be a very smart financial tool. When you call Best Mortgage, you'll speak directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for you. If you want to stay in your home with less financial stress, call me, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best. But I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
welcome back to the John Curley Show. Along with, I'm Angela Poe Russell, along with my partner in crime here, Greg Tomlin. And is this how it works? We get to letters of the day?
That's it, right here. Well, we build up to the letter of the day.
We build up to the letter of the day.
So we got a message here off topic. The new old man John writes, a Nate dog sounds like something you would get at a county fair. Find a different term of endearment for good old Nate. Do I have to explain this? I'm a child of the 90s. When I was about 12 years old, maybe 11, one of the biggest songs in the country was Regulate by Warren G.
And Nate Dogg. I love that
and
song.
My name's Greg, so I'm the G child, so I say G child to the Nate Dogg.
Hey, I got it, homie. I got it, homie.
You got it? All right. We're
when you
lockstep
said it,
with each other.
I immediately started like remembering some of the lyrics.
Hit the east side on the LBC. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Warren G.
Yes.
With your
Nate Dogg
Regulate.
and the G child. We digress.
We digress. Paul and Sammamish. John is out of town even more than the former chief of police.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Ouch.
Dang.
Ouch. Any leans for Curly? Shannon and Duval, great show. Thanks, Joe, Angela, and Greg with an exclamation point.
That's kind. 206, we are loving this episode of John Curley Sans Curly. Keep it up. Oh, guys. Wow.
Why'd you include that, Joe? Come on. Jason in Minneapolis, Angela and Greg are a great on-air team enjoying the broadcast via YouTube here in Minneapolis.
That is
All
so
right.
kind.
Great Lakes representing.
Okay, Katie in Tacoma.
1,000 likes, yeah.
I would bet that the course catalog is going to look very much like your traditional business degree and marketing degree mushed together. It's just now rebranded as influencing. I think that Katie's right.
The topic of e-bikes and new data out on just how dangerous they are, especially for kids. Josiah and Lacey writes, e-bikes are taking over my neighborhood, some going upwards of 30 miles an hour, and it's kids with no helmets. I watched a car swerve for one once. They're terrible. Both sides need addressed through enforcement.
Yes, and then there are the people that do the scooters on sidewalks, and there's no one around to enforce it, and it's a dangerous thing. Skagit, Thaddeus, the e-bike phenomenon is just another exercise in natural selection. Oh, that's cold.
Oh, no.
The parents that are enabling their kids to put themselves in these harmful situations shouldn't have more kids anyway. It'll all work itself out. Yo, man, that was cold. That is
ice cold.
Wow. Some empathy.
206,
Okay.
It seems today's host was never socialized in elementary school. In the 70s, we were taught to not be a narc. Oh, is this on the see something, say something topic?
Can someone interpret?
I texted that.
That was Nate and Dog texting that to me. Do you consider me a narc with the storytelling I did about when I tattletale on people?
Calling 911 over speeding is a little narkish.
No, but we're not talking like 5 miles an hour over. We're talking like blazing 80 miles an hour. I say, okay.
Someone said Greg is a tattletale.
I don't.
All right.
Now it is time for the letter of the day.
Would you like to do the honor? Okay,
No,
I'll go ahead and
you
start.
got it.
All right, Sharon and Olympia. I started reading the voter pamphlet about 8 or 9 years ago. My mother was starting to have vision issues, and she was a very faithful pamphlet reader. So as her primary person, it fell on my shoulders. Unfortunately, she read it cover to cover. We lost her this past January, but my throat isn't sad. I read it myself cover to cover. Oh, that's a beautiful story for you to do that for your mom.
Informed voters.
Wow.
That's
cover
all
to
she wrote. To the east side. To a deluxe apartment in the sky. Is
I
that
never
not the exact
made that
same
connection.
melody?
I never made that connection.
Greg calls the cops.
Calls the cops, going 80 and a 20. He's a narc we can all rely on. Greg, Tom, and Angela Poe Russell, has been such a pleasure. Thank you, Joe, Nate, Andrew, everyone here at KIRO. Yeah, let's send it over to the real-time traffic desk.
All right, it's busy. This one brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio app. Up in Everett, South 5 at State Route 526, we have an unfortunate fatality this evening, blocking 3 left lanes. There's 1 lane open at the scene, so we've got a 4-mile parking lot starting at Pacific Avenue, just south of Highway 2. Everett to Seattle is going to take you an hour 20, 45 from Linwood, and we're packed from North Gateway to I-90. Southbound 99, an alternate route as you get into Seattle, but it is solid from the Aurora Bridge to the stadiums where the Mariners have a 6:40 game. Both lake bridges are heavy into Seattle. Tacoma to Olympia, we're down to 50 minutes. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud, it's hot.
Join KIRO News Radio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to metamucil.com for more details.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. There's been a rash of reports of fake contractors ripping homeowners off for roof replacements and other jobs. That's why it is so important to know the company coming to your home. And that's why I put my name behind Valentine Roofing. Every customer can expect a Valentine experience. That's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. So if you think your roof is on its last legs, if you want to beat the rain and beat the mad rush, Valentine Roofing is now offering priority scheduling for your roof replacement. That means when you call Valentine Roofing today, they can get your job started within 3 weeks of signing the agreement. And they make the process so simple. You can expect an estimate with transparent pricing and options that fit your needs in about an hour. Since 2008, thousands of Western Washington homeowners like me have chosen Valentine Roofing for their roofing needs, and you can trust them too. So call 206 Roofing to schedule your free estimate. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.